Hey, I'm Tracy Tim. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to be here with you today. By way of a little bit of introduction, I am a human capital advisor, but more importantly, a quarter life career coach. I'm also the founder and creator of the Nth Degree Academy online, which is the place that you need to be to take your career from stuck to unstoppable. Now, the reason that you're watching this video today is probably because you've been working so hard on your career, wanting to love it, wanting to find work that you find absolutely meaningful, but you have been struggling. You've been struggling because you've been living by somebody else's idea of success. You've been doing what other people have told you is going to make you happy, and all along the way you've found that to be increasingly more disappointing. Knowing that all along there's probably a better way. There's probably a better way, and in fact I'm here today to tell you about that better way. That better way begins with you. It begins with knowing where you are in your life right now, marrying that with what comes absolutely beautifully, naturally to you, and putting that in the context of what you've learned how to do over time. That is your genius zone. That is your sweet spot. And that's what I teach people how to find. That's what I do. I help people discover what they were created for right now, at this point in their life right now, knowing that that's going to change, knowing that that's going to evolve, but knowing that living your truth right now and doing a career that aligns with who you are and what you love is going to give you the most fulfillment and the most meaningful career possible. Now, you should know this about me. I am a lifelong searcher, if you will, a self-development junkie or a self-discovery junkie, really, at the end of the day. And all I've ever wanted to do was discover those insights for myself so that I could then share them with other people. And that's what I do today. And I'm so lucky, so thankful, so fortunate. But also, I have worked my tail off to find work that I love. And I know the steps that it takes to get there. And that's what I want to share with you today as we talk about the Nth Degree Academy online. Now, when I started my career, I did not have any of this figured out. You should know that ahead of time. You should know that I only teach things that I have done myself, and I'll tell you what, I've stubbed my toe enough times for this to be a proven methodology. And not only that, I've worked with countless young professionals, helping them find work that lights them up, that brings them back to life. So I know that this process works. But when I started my career, I was just as lost, as confused, and totally unable to figure out what I wanted to do as anybody else. In fact, I graduated with a degree in behavioral psychology and went directly to work on Wall Street, of all places. And I figured out very quickly that it was just a horrible environment for me. It might have been a great environment for somebody else, but for me, it didn't take advantage of any of the strengths that I had, of any of the talents that I had built up over time, or anything that I felt like I was really good at. Instead, I was playing somebody else's game and living by somebody else's idea of success, and it was miserable. And maybe you know how this feels because you've been there too. So I ended up getting all the courage that I had to leave. I traveled for a while. I met mentors who helped me figure out what I could be doing and what I was built for and what I was made for. And I got so excited about that career. I took some baby steps towards it. I did lots of research, informational interviews, worked with other influencers, and figured out how to find work that I love. But I was still scared. I was still scared. I was scared to go out on the limb. I was scared to not have a 9-to-5. I was scared to live the life that I wanted to live because nobody else around me was living that life. So of course, because of my fear, I went back to what I had before. I went back to a 9-to-5. I had the stable job. I had the benefits. I had dental. And I had what I thought would be a great compromise, a great thing that I love, but in a safe, sort of easy package. And you know what? It tanked. I tanked. Within 3 months, I realized I was wildly unemployable, and not only did I want to leave, but that employer wanted me to leave as well. And I felt embarrassed, and I felt like I would never really figure it out, and I felt confused and lost to even a greater degree, because here I had done all this work and I had committed all this time and energy to finding something that really lit me up, and then I totally flew in the face of all of it. The worst part was that I wondered if I would ever have what it takes to really commit to doing work that mattered to me, to doing work that I found meaningful. And I couldn't shake that feeling of being stuck, of being lost, and being utterly hopeless. And I know that that might be something that you've felt too, or maybe you're feeling it right now because you know that you're meant for more, you know that you're made for more, and you just don't know how to get from A to B. And even if you do, you lose track on each step because you don't have somebody helping you throughout the process. But at the end of the day, I was lucky. I was lucky enough to have an earth-shattering experience. I mean, when you go from being a high performer and always overperforming as you're growing up and in college and in your first and second job, and then you get fired, it's the lowest that I could possibly have ever felt. And it was an earth-shattering enough experience for me to realize that I never wanted to feel that way again. I never wanted somebody else to dictate what success looked like for me. I never wanted somebody else to tell me this is what you have to do to be a successful employee. I never wanted to put my square peg in yet another round hole. I never wanted to feel that way again. So I set about the task of starting completely over from ground zero. What was I gonna do to live my truth? And the crazy part, this is the crazy part, because starting over was the scariest thing, right? It's the scariest thing in the world to think that everything you've done in the past doesn't matter anymore. But here's the secret. It all matters. And I thought I was starting at ground zero, but really I had so much expertise and so much talent and so much time and experience built up that it set me off on this incredible trajectory. I had this launch pad, if you will, to leap from, and that changed everything. Throughout that process, I realized that my problem was also my solution. My passion was to help people find work that they love. So instead of going into a business where I didn't get to do that, I had to do something radically different. I had to figure out what methodology would work for other people, what would get them from A to B even faster than I got there, and then teach it. And teach it to them, and teach it to them in a way where they wouldn't just find a job that they liked or a role that made sense, but a career that felt awesome, a career that was true to who they were, a career that took advantage, again, of who they were and what they knew and what they learned over time, and allowed them to reach their highest levels of success because they were fulfilling their fullest potential. And I did that for myself, and now I do that for my clients. And that's why I'm here. That's why the Nth Degree Academy exists at all. It was because I figured out a methodology to do work I love, which just so happens to be helping other people build lives and build careers that they love. And I've been successful at that because it's an easy step-by-step process, because I get to live my dream and people get to see that day to day, and I want to give that to more and more people. In fact, I want to give it to you. And I know that you're here and watching this video simply because you know that that's possible. I know that it's possible for you because it's possible for me. And trust me, I was the most unassuming entrepreneur in the world. And I'm not saying that that's what you have to do, but that just happened to be my path. And it's worked out incredibly beautifully. I used to worry all the time about where my next paycheck was coming from, or if I was gonna be able to feed myself. I mean, literally, there were times when I would eat and drink something really, really cheap in my car outside of the coffee shop that I wanted to go work in because I didn't want to pay $10 for a salad. Those were real times, and they happen to all of us. But now I make more money doing what I love to do than I did when I was on Wall Street, than I did when I worked a 9-to-5 that I thought was safe. And even if I didn't, in those first couple years of building my business, I sure as hell didn't make the kind of money that you think people do. And I was infinitely happier doing that because I was doing something true to me. I was doing work that I loved. I didn't just find a Band-Aid to put on my career problem. I solved it. And I want to do that for you. In fact, I'm so excited because I've actually been able to boil down those steps from A to B, from hating your job to loving your life, from stuck to unstoppable, from living someone else's version of success to being true to who you really are. I've boiled it down to something that's quite honestly, I feel like pretty foolproof, right? Anybody can do this. You can do this. And I know that you are not a fool, right? I know that you know who you are deep down, and I know that you want to do work that you love. So all you need are the steps. That's it. And I have those steps. I made those steps for you because I don't want you to stumble the way I did. You don't have to stub your toe a million times and go left and go right just to find center. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, right? I did that so you don't have to. I did that so that we could put together a methodology that is foolproof, that will get you from A to B, that will take you from stuck to unstoppable. It's not going to be easy, but it is simple. It is simple. When you boil it down to really 5 steps, there are really only 5 steps between you and your dream, 5 steps between you and a meaningful career, 5 steps between you and, quite honestly, freedom, right? Freedom to live your truth and to live a meaningful life and career the way that you want to, right? The way that makes sense to you, the way that's going to make you happy and fulfilled, and the way that, quite honestly, that I get to do every day, which is, again, such a major blessing, but it's going to take a little bit of work and it's going to take some action. That action in particular, I believe, is that you need to sign up for the Nth Degree Academy online. It is coming soon. We're going to be launching in December, which is so exciting because this has really been a labor of love. I've been teaching this methodology for 2 years now, and it's worked. It's worked one-on-one, it's worked in groups, but now I want to give it to you. I want to give it to you online so that you can consume it right at your own pace, at your own speed. You can have the content to go back to forever, but you have to commit. You have to commit and be honest with yourself that the life that you're living now, it might be okay, it might be tolerable, you know, you might downright hate it. You might, but that's okay. That doesn't have to be what you're stuck with forever. Remember, there's got to be something more, and there is something more for you. So commit right now to at least signing up to find out when the Nth Degree Academy comes online in December of 2017. So excited. Just commit right now to the fact that, you know what? It's okay if you're unhappy. It's okay if you don't like your job, and it's certainly okay if you don't like your job, even though other people would kill for it. Because hey, it's different strokes. Different people love different things. Different people are lit up by different things. And that's okay. That's okay, but we don't need a world where people are trying to do everything that everyone says they're supposed to do. We need a world where people are doing what brings them alive. That's what the world needs, right? That's what Howard Thurman said. That's what we need. That's what we need. So commit right now to scrolling down on this page and just finding out when the Academy is going live online. And very, very soon, as we work between now and December, I'm going to be giving you an insider's look at what is in this Academy. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. But I'm just so excited to have you here, so excited that you've committed to yourself. Commit to yourself that this is important, that this matters, that you matter, and that a meaningful career is right around the corner for you. So let me help you take your career from stuck to unstoppable. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tracy Tim. I'm so happy that you're here and so happy to continue to bring this amazing content for you as you go through your journey. Thank you so much for watching.